Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of A Plague Tale Innocence. As always, we are going to go ahead and say, if you don't want to watch the video, you can fuck off to a different video. Thank you those of you who are still fucking here. And let's go ahead and get right into it.
So we'll never be able to go back home?
No, it's too dangerous.
Are there rats there too?
Maybe... I don't know, Hugo.
I'm scared. They'll find us when it gets dark.
We'll be safe with Laurentius. Come on.
Okay, welcome. Here we go. We're just gonna go ahead and just fucking start because I'll explain later in a bit why I'm so fucking irritated. But anyways, same rules apply. We're gonna talk about all the little nooks and crannies and achievements and shit like that. Alright, so we get on the trail and we turn to the right. And of course we want to go to the pier because it will spark a dialogue.
Hey, Hugo, where are you going?
A couple of things I want to point out on this particular dock. We see that there's blood on this dock.
Yes, Hugo.
And if you look
Fish, frog,
around on the dock, like there's blood right there next to my feet, or Anicia's feet, excuse me. There's a handprint on this little pillar right here, or column, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just pointing out specific things, and I'll explain what I think, what my hypotheses are. Alright, once you leave the dock, you turn right and you see the smoke. There's objects over there, but before you go, there's the stump right here, and this is the first curiosity. So it's a hermetic vessel. Yes, if you look to the left, I've done more episodes because this fucking episode took 6 times and I was just so irritated. Alright. Same thing, there's going to be a lot more things, items to pick up. Obviously, you will probably max out on certain items. That is totally okay. Just make sure you grab items when you can, because those help you out when you get to the workbench and upgrade stuff.
It's one of the men that attacked the house.
The Inquisition. They're here.
Again, we see more blood. I have a couple of hypotheses after I went ahead and did this video. Spoiler alert, we'll be seeing a lot more blood. It's kind of hard to decipher if the blood is either caused by rats, which obviously some of those are, like that dude being like, you know, eaten halfway. Which, by the way, rats, why are you eating people halfway? Quit being wasteful. Like, come on now. Anyways. Yeah, so it's either that or the Inquisition is, like, torturing people, and I'll explain why I think that as we progress through the video. Or the episode. Or whatever. Anyways. Okay, so...
Nothing here.
This part, like, navigating through this... So majority of this part right here is just you being sneaky and timing it. The first time I did this, the first few times I did this, because again, I wanted to make sure accuracy and get all the things. Yeah, I'd fucking died. I fucking died like a noob, like badly, badly. Let's insert some clips before we move on.
Don't move, it will be awesome. Hey, you there! I'm gonna beat some manners into you!
No!
Look out! There's someone here! Keep searching!
Something moved, I think. There's someone here! Get back here!
Amicia! No!
Do that.
So yeah, I died a million times. I've had to record this episode 6 times because of lagging, so I'm pretty much a fucking expert
Whatever happens,
for this
we have to get
episode,
out of here
The
before the sun goes
Apprentice. Okay? I don't know how, how much more I could express how infuriated I was. Okay, because the reason why I kept dying, and I know it sounds like an excuse, but hear me out, okay? So, I've already said this before, that this game sort of reminds me of Tomb Raider, especially, like, the mechanics of, like, sneaking and, like, you know, like, how she uses her weapon. Same thing with Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. So, when I'm trying to, like, crawl, like, unsneak, I keep getting it confused with fucking Tomb Raider game mechanics, and I'm hitting the wrong button, and I'm sitting here thinking I'm gonna, like, start running, when in fact I'm still, like, sneak crawling. It is just a hot mess. So, oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's why I just keep dying. But same type of style, you know, some of those things is just like timing and sneaking appropriately. Alright, just, again, I'm not trying to make an excuse, it's just, it is what it is, and I'm just going with that, and you're just gonna either just agree, or, you know, you could just say, wow, JustKa, you're pretty fucking stupid. It's fine, I don't care, I'll take it. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on with, you know, you watching me sneak around, finally, in expert mode, because, you know, fucking 7th time. This run through is the 7th time. And the reason that is because, for some reason, while I was, like, in-game, no lagging, no problem. But when OBS was recording, and I would rewatch it, it was just like hot garbage lag, and I'm like, why? And look, I'm still sort of new when it comes to, like, figuring out how to basically play and record at the same time. I mean, if you look at my fucking Paper Mario, that shit's been on hiatus because my Elgato, but that's a whole fucking story for a whole ass other time. Alright, so I'm new to the recording gameplay, okay? And so, like, I've been trying to, like, look up how to, like,
That noise.
I keep saying, like, and it's irritating me, and when I re-watch this, it's gonna just bug the crap out of me even more. But anyways, when I'm recording, like, I'm still trying to figure out how to, like, reduce lag. I watched a couple videos. I had to, like, do some, like, run control, like, shit like that. I'm trying, guys. I'm learning. I'm a noob, okay? Just, you can come at me in the comments. It doesn't really matter. I'm trying, and that's all that matters, and I don't really give a fuck. So, yeah. I just want us to reverse back real quick just to point out the pool of blood on the floor over here. Yeah, hypothesizing that there's just a lot more going on besides the rats and the maybe possible torture from the Inquisition. Again, I don't know. As I play through the game, hopefully that will just make a whole lot more sense. Now, obviously, I've already played the next episode because I was getting sick and tired of playing this episode. I was like, I just need to just play the next part, so, you know, I know what to do. When I recorded that just came out nice. No fucking lag when I record. But for some reason, this episode decided to lag like almost every time I try to record. And then finally I just... Anyways. Yeah.
Very important, I was told. Lord Nicholas has his orders direct from the Grand Inquisitor himself. So keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, so it looks like we're getting more character introduction. Not necessarily seeing this character, but just more of our antagonists So obviously our main antagonists in this game are the rats. Duh. But also the Inquisition. And I want to do a separate video on like what the Inquisition is and just like their overall practices throughout the Middle Ages. We'll do a separate video. I kind of want to just wait till we progress through the game. Just basically till I get to an episode where it mainly focuses on the Inquisition. And I just want to save all that data, that research that I do on the Inquisition for that particular episode. Because right now, like, we see the Inquisition, but we still don't really know why they're coming after us. I mean, we will find out in this episode. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. But it's still unclear, right? I haven't played the whole game, so it's still unclear for me as I record at this point in time. However, new character, Lord Nicholas. Now, that's
Where was that noise coming?
hypothesizing. Maybe Lord Nicholas is... I'm assuming they're either a clergy person, so like a priest or a bishop. Most likely a bishop, just to be given that title, Lord. Or it could be like maybe an opposing family to the Darunes. I'm not really sure.
Make things a little easier.
I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Those of you who have played this game, please don't spoil it. Those of you who have not played this game, what are your thoughts?
Why are they looking
What
for
are
me?
our possible
do anything.
hypotheses going in as we
They're
go
the ones who
through?
did something.
Just let me know.
If they catch
In the
us,
comment.
will they hurt us?
They are not going to catch us, alright?
All right.
Okay, so we have a hidden achievement coming up as we get to these. I'm assuming they're grapes
Hugo?
for wine
Hugo?
making purposes.
Where are you?
So Hugo leaves and tries to hide from you, basically. And your first thought, and especially my first thought when I played it, was just to like, dude, what the fuck?
Did I scare
Why are you
you?
running? Like, just go straight through these grape
Here, Hugo.
vineyards. However, you missed the achievement. So what you want to do is, when he goes ahead and does that, you don't want to go straight down the center. You want to go to the
Where
sides.
are you?
And then basically get him from behind. And when you do this, right, he won't be able to see you, meaning he won't be able to come up to you. So you get him from behind, and when you do so,
Hugo,
he says, you found me, so you basically get the achievement found, and it's play hide and seek. Again, it's a hidden achievement, easily missable, just letting y'all know. Now, there's also a gift in this area. If we go back where we started when we went to the vineyard, the beginning of the vineyard, and we go down here to the water, we see a boat with a dead alchemist.
He's got
We'll talk about alchemy as we get
They're boils.
further into
From
this
the right.
episode.
Don't get any closer, Hugo.
And we see that, you know, there's this dead guy
Is it a book?
with all this
No,
stuff, and you also get
journal.
this
He was an
gift.
alchemist.
Oh, he had a nice boat.
Hugo, you're funny. He had a nice boat. The gift is the alchemist's diary. And it's kind of interesting, you know, explaining like how, like when you look at some of these things, like the gifts and the curiosities, and how it talks about the plague. And again, a lot of some of these references are to either like religious references, you know, that the plague is evil, and how people were trying to basically save themselves from the plague, you know, using using things that are, you know, considered silly. So it's just interesting to me. Do your research, kids. History. Look it up. Okay. When you get to this part, after you pass the little vineyard, there are two ways to get to where you need to get to. Two ways. I'm going to show you the first way, which I think is the most difficult. Only because, like, the way you try to hide from the guards is a bit of annoying compared to the second way. So, the first way I'm going to show you is you're going to go to the left. Now, when I went through this, my first thought was to go along the wall. Don't do that. What I decided to do is go along this, like, rock area. And again, it's all about the timing. So you could see the guards walking. And so you're just sneakily going out. And they can't see you. And just listening to the conversations, they're talking about the bite from the rodents, from rats, which is kind of interesting because, again, this is a video game. Obviously, it's fantasy. We got fucking demon rats. I'm assuming demon rats because, you know, rats didn't eat people to that degree in that kind of fashion in real life. You know, like fucking savage rats. But anyways, when you got the plague, it was actually caused by being bit by fleas. The fleas on the rats, not necessarily the rats. Because it was the fleas that were infected with the bacteria that causes the Black Plague. So that's a little weird. Like, the rat biting you did not give plague. It was the fleas on the rats. Alright. Okay, so there are chests throughout this, you know, as you're trying to get to Laurentius's house, right? There are items to get either way which you go, whether you go to the left or whether you go the other way, which I will show you after I'm done showing you this way. Again, I think this way is the most difficult. I don't know if you've played this game. What are your thoughts? Did you even know there were two ways to get to Laurentius's house? Leave a comment below. Alright? So again, it's all about this. This one was difficult because like the guards, when they switch, it just like, it just seemed like they knew the timing to turn at the same time as you're trying to sneak by. And see, like, I get noticed way more easily, I feel, compared to when I went the other way. And like, look at this guy. Like, he's literally going to leave all the way over there to fucking find me. I mean, granted, that's his job, but you know what I mean? It's just like, jeez. He is like dead ass trying to find me. And they'll stop following you once that like red goes all the way to white. And then white goes all the way to nothing. And then they'll just go back to whatever it is that the CPU code is telling them to do. Now, if you like a challenge, again, I would suggest this way to do it. I just did both ways because I was just curious. Because, again, I'm that noob who wants to, like, see everything.
Barricaded.
Now, this building, you really don't have to go in this building. Again, I just wanted to go in here. There's nothing really important. There's like items in this building, but if you want to go in here, that's cool too, bro. Just make sure that you are quiet, and you'll see why in a second. See, I thought I was cool and I could just walk around and, you know, be a boss, but no, this fucker hears you. Which makes more sense for him to hear you because you're really close to him. But look at this. Like, look at the shenanigans of this. It's like, either I get caught and die really easily, or these fuckers just let it go all the way, give me an anxiety by being right next to me, and then just be like, fuck off. Okay, I heard nothing. And that's it. That's it. I can't even close this door. I can't even close this door. So, like, anyways, I'm bitching. I'm nitpicking here. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't care. Anyways, you could just collect more items in that building. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. I'm just showing you what I was doing when I did the playthrough. Remember, this is my 7th time playing through this particular episode. I was very irritated. Very, very irritated. Okay. So, yay, we get to tall grass.
What was that noise?
And again, just like pointing out like it's more difficult when we get up here where these two guys are having a fucking conversation. And it's, you have to like time it really well to decide how you're going to distract, because you can distract more than one person at the same time, but only one person is going to actually go to your distraction, whether you're using a jar or whether you're using like the rock against metal. So you'll just see right now what I'm talking about.
There's a noise over there. I'll go.
Watch yourself.
The area seems
See, only one dude actually went and investigated, whereas the other guy didn't, but it's not, now that he's looked the other way, fucking finally, then you could just distract the one guy and then walk your merry ass over.
What?
And so, that's it. And you're free.
They can't see us anymore.
And you can go ahead and hop on over to Laurentius's place. However, because we want to be thorough and because I want to make sure that I give you guys everything that I find within the game, we are going to show you, meaning I am going to show you, the second way, and the way that I think is the easiest way to get to Laurentius's house once you pass the grape vineyards. So what you want to do is, instead of going to the left, you're going to go straight through this little like hut barn, and basically you're going to go through the fields all the way through instead of by the river, instead of by the lake, river, whatever you want to call it. Alright, sorry for the lag. This part, the easy way, I found this way through my first playthrough. So if it's lagging, if you notice it, I apologize. This was like the best one, except for my last recording, obviously. But yeah, anyways. Continuing on. I found that this way was just a lot easier to navigate through, honestly, just because of like, it's easier to distract guards. Now, when you're going through these fields, obviously this guy is easier to distract, but you want to make sure you time it correctly, because that other guy that's walking around, he might catch you or notice you. See how he noticed me right now, and then I had to go back and fuck off into the fields. So he's walking around the perimeter.
Nothing to report.
So you just want to time it correctly. So I had to wait till he like went around, and then I can go ahead and, you know, walk past him.
noise over there. I'll go.
Be careful.
No, nothing there.
All right.
Alright, once he is out of the way, you can go ahead and move on to the next part. There is nothing there. So when there's those things right there, you can't go that way. It's barricaded that way. So that other way, right, where I was looking, that was the first way we went, but this is the new way, and this is the easier way in my opinion. So we press on forward. Again, I point out that this is easier because at least with these two guys, even though they're next to each other, you could distract them both. So you have that metal stuff to the left for distracting that guy, and you also have it over here to the right for distracting this guy. And then you just want to be quick and time it right and go ahead and walk on past them. Woot woot.
Nothing at all.
When are they going to call us back to camp? Shit, it's nearly dark. But I was sure. Well.
Alrighty, the only guy you really have to worry about, well, you have to worry about both of these guys. Again, it's all about that timing, right? So I wouldn't move right about now because they both could see you. That guy's going to move up and down, and the other guy's just shoveling shit. So now would be the time, since they're not looking at you, to just go ahead and be like, hello, wild grass. Let me go ahead and just hide here. And then, once his back is turned, you can just go ahead and mosey on over to the wild grass where there are no other guards, and boom, you have made it to the other side without getting murdered, without being seen. Again, I think this way is just a lot easier. It doesn't matter which way you go. You're not missing any like curiosities or anything of that matter. So you can decide either way that you want to go. Okay, so don't panic. You're good. All right.
No, they can't.
Alrighty, now that I've shown you both ways to get to this point, let's go ahead and move on forward. So once we get over the window, we are going to see that the guards are going to be yeeting themselves out of here. Bye.
What's happening?
Have a nice day. Have a nice life. Peace out. And all that shit. So we already know we're about to just encounter some fucking
Can't
rats.
stop. Not here.
I feel funny.
Come on. You'll be able to rest when we get to Laurentius's place.
My head. It hurts.
I don't know what to do, Hugo. What would Mommy do?
Give me medicine.
I can carry you. That's the best I can do. Come on, climb up.
You know, as I keep playing this game, like, I feel bad for these kids. This is a game, okay, but I'm still gonna give my opinion. Yes,
That must be
you
why
know,
I
they
feel
came from,
funny.
they're nobles, right? So that, if you were a noble back in that time, right, you were in the higher percent,
At least you were allowed
right?
to
If you were a lord, you were in the higher percent of the population as far as, like, being well off. And we'll talk about feudalism in another episode if I can fit it in. Okay? However, regardless of you being able to, you know,
Nearly there.
Only he shut me inside again.
to be well off and then just lose your parents, it doesn't matter. Like, just losing your parents sucks. And just looking at the watching the conversation between Amicia and Hugo, you could just see how resentful she is, but she has to really, like, just not. She doesn't have room for it because it's just her and her brother.
We're going to have to be
And
careful now. You better
I
get
think
down,
that's
Hugo.
really hard, especially when she expressed that she hasn't really, you know, seen him or interacted with him until this point of, like, basically running all the time, which is terrible. Alright, look at all these fucking fire torches. Here are the rats. Here we go.
Quickly!
There's nothing important, just go ahead and start fucking running to the fire posts. No, you can't go up there. You will get up there, but not that way.
We'll be alright.
just keep running. The game will let you know where to go. I'm surprised we didn't get bitten at this point. Like, can you keep it consistent with like another fire post? But whatever. We press it.
Come on, faster! Climb up, I'll help you.
Right.
Okay, so now we're at a point where it's a game of stay away from the fucking rats. I'm assuming this is going to obviously be a major theme. You know, we get some dialogue, we run from the Inquisition, and then we also keep away from the fucking rats. Okay, so when I first played through this, it took me like a good 2 minutes to figure out what the fuck to do. But you're going to go ahead and slingshot that thing down, so all these dead ass pigs
All dead.
give you a way to
They've been
cross.
slaughtered by the Inquisition,
Yeah.
probably.
I'm going to be sick.
You gotta give it to the game for fucking visuals over here. Alright, you get over here and basically there's more stuff. And then there's those shiny sticks. This is what you don't want to do. This is what you're not gonna do. And let me insert a clip to show you what I mean. The first time I played this, I got the stuff. And then I saw the very extinguishable torches, and I was like, oh yay, fire, let's go ahead and move on. And then I just kept walking, thinking, oh yay, I'm gonna get to the rats. Yay. And then I was like, wait a minute. I'm not gonna make it. What the fuck? Oh, shiitake, I'm not gonna make it. And then, yeah, I just got fucking murked by rats. And that was a very lovely scene. So, yeah, what you want to do is you don't want to do that. You don't want to grab the torch and then immediately go to that little campfire to use it. What you want to do is walk all the way to the fire closest to the rats and then light it and then start going. Yes, I'm an idiot. I know. Alright. So you're going to take the torch, you're going to make it all the way to the dead campfire and light that fucker up, and boom. Now, for this, what you want to do is you want to make sure you make it to the other side quickly. It's kind of, you can easily just not make it quickly because just start moving immediately because this is what's going to fucking happen. If you don't, insert clip now. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you go all the way in front of it. That's how you light it. Not on the side, because on the side it won't let you light it up for some fucking reason. Okay, so make sure you go to the front of this thing so you can light it and not get eaten by rats. Okay? Okay.
Come on, nearly there.
Amicia, why did they kill the pigs?
Maybe to contain the rats here.
You know, that's a really good question, because
Very heavy.
like in my mind, I was like, is Laurentius a pig farmer as well? Why are there so many dead pigs? Why are the pigs not eating the pigs? Why are the rats not eating the pigs? Like that just I'm just very confused. I'm confused. Because even if he was a pig farmer, that's a lot of fucking pigs, man. That's a lot of pigs. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Who the fuck knows?
But
What if it's not Laurentius?
Okay, we have finally made it to Laurentius's house. We can calm down for a sec. There are no guards, rats. We are good to go.
is that the
I'm gonna suggest you look around the place before you enter the house, because once you enter the house, things will start going into motion as far as like scenes and stuff like that, and you can't go back to certain parts of the grounds. So look around the grounds first before you go into the actual house. Okay? If you look around, there are tools, and we want to collect these stuff because there is a workbench or shop inside Laurentius's house. So make sure you grab all those things so you can go ahead and upgrade yourself, whether it's your sling, your equipment, whatever you decide to upgrade. Okay? And you also get unique dialogue. It's just, you know, little crumbs of dialogue. I like listening to the dialogue. That's just me. And I'm sitting here talking over the dialogue. People are like, shut the fuck up, lady. I just want to listen to them talk. Okay, I'm shutting up now.
The horse.
The rats must have been here.
Poor thing.
Don't worry about looking around the barn. You'll look around the barn later after a certain scene. There's nothing in here. You will come back to this barn area later. It's kind of odd that, again, I'm still hung up on the pigs thing. Let's say he wasn't a pig farmer. The Inquisition people just like hauled all those pigs. That's a lot of fucking pigs. Regardless if Laurentius is a pig farmer or not, just to haul all those pigs up there. And then it still didn't even work because those rats are like, no, we want fresh meat. Fuck that.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand. I just assumed they were gonna just eat anything down to the fucking bone, but like that fucking horse, I don't even know. Again, you want to make sure that you're just kind of checking the grounds before we go inside the house itself.
I'm sorry about your friends.
And just
Hello there.
unique dialogue with
Not a
different
night to stay
things.
outside, hey?
Again, we'll go back to the barn after we, meet Laurentius, and you'll see the scene and understand why we have to go back in the barn. Before we head into the house, behind the house is a flower for Hugo's herbarium, so you can get that achievement.
Hugo.
I'm assuming, obviously, there's an achievement for collecting all the flowers
All right.
and curiosities and gifts, so make sure
Granny's
to
bonnet.
pick the flower from the
She's
back.
hanging her head because she's sad.
Perhaps she would be less lonely with us.
Yes, it's not good to be alone.
All right. Let's go.
Okay, so what we want to do now is have Hugo enter through the window, and that's how we're going to get inside of Laurentius's house.
Good.
When we get inside, we're going to go ahead and see the workbench right there. So this gives us another opportunity to upgrade our equipment or our sling. Again, just depending on the materials that we have and what you preference on upgrading at this point.
Someone's there.
There's nothing here on the first floor. However, when we get to the second floor, there will be the final curiosity. And yeah, I just looked around because why not? Just to double check. But there's nothing on this first floor besides the workbench. It's giving me kind of Skyrim vibes. I just like looking at the kitchens, and I like looking inside the buildings and all the stuff in Skyrim. Is anyone here a Skyrim hoarder? Like, you just hoard all the items and you just have a collection of stuff? Like, yeah, that's just me. I'm a weirdo. Anyways, okay, so before we go inside the door, we want to take the door on the right, and this is where the final curiosity is for this episode. And it's going to be the vitriol? I hope I'm saying, yeah, vitriol. Again, I would highly, if you're interested in the history of the Black Plague, it's really cool. Like, I'm learning a lot more than I ever did in school. But granted, I didn't talk about the Black Plague for a long time. So, yeah.
Who are you? Magister Laurentius!
Stop right there. He's contagious.
Hugo. Here.
The Inquisition came. We lost everything. There was nothing I could do.
Of course. They came for him. An evil. An ancient evil courses through your family's veins. In its blood. Your mother and I attempted to slow its progress. But ever since the Great Break, the process has quickened. You must protect him, Amicia. Continue your mother's work.
Me? But how? My parents tried and now they are both dead. Leave me alone!
They're here.
The rats are dangerous, but disorganized. The Inquisition, however, they seek the boy tirelessly. We have to disappear. Head to the Chateau d'Ombrage. Lucas, go to the barn. You will finish the Ignifer.
Don't try to talk. I will prove myself. I'm sorry about your parents, but you're not alone anymore. We have to move fast. You can help me make the Ignifer. It will protect us from the rats.
Come, Hugo. I don't want you to stay here.
The stuff is in the barn. Come on. Oh no.
What are we going to do?
Okay, so the rats are now in the fucking house. So we need to get out. What we first want to do is knock out that light and then knock out those two hams because apparently rats are just only into fresh
It's all right.
meat. I have no idea.
There.
I didn't know rats were that picky. You know? These demon rats. Picky. But okay. Sure. Why not?
Very well.
Before
but
you
stay
exit
close to
the
me.
house, you
Are
can get
two okay?
more rocks back
It's
in that
been
room where we
long
found the vitriol. So let's talk about alchemy real quick. Obviously, the name of this episode is The Apprentice. So Laurentius himself is an alchemist, and Lucas is his apprentice. Now, back in the Middle Ages, during this time, alchemy was not considered for scientific study, like at the university level. In fact, it was almost, it was like a hidden trade because people would see it as, like, heretic because, the church was very suspicious of alchemy because the main, like, purpose of alchemy at this time was at the time to basically find the perfect potion of life, bullshit. The sorcerer's stone, which turns, any metal into gold and prolongs life. If you've watched Harry Potter, you understand that reference, hopefully. And if you already knew that reference prior to Harry Potter, congratulations. And then the other thing itself for alchemists at the time was just to, same thing with any sort of science, is to discover, the mysteries of the universe. And so, if we want to be real here, I feel like alchemy was like, think of it as like, it does involve chemistry because there were certain chemicals that were discovered like during this time.
Listen. You can sulk if you like, but stay close.
So during this time, the achievements, and again, I'll list all my sources in the description. They discovered at this time hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, potash, and sodium carbonate. The elements that were discovered during this time as well, for those who were studying alchemists, are arsenic, antimony, and bismuth. So yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, it really is kind of like basic chemistry, like not full-on chemistry, obviously, because, you know, the purpose of alchemists was to, again, figure out immortality. But overall, it was, you know, it did use chemicals and metals, mixing different things and trying to come up with different solutions and stuff like that. And so, in this episode, where we are going right now, we are going into the alchemy lab, the lab itself, to basically get a new game mechanic. And I'll just let you watch as we get inside.
Watch your step.
This is more than just a doctor's lab.
My master is also, and above all, a great alchemist. Your name is Amicia, right? I'm Lucas. I would like to show you something, but it requires alcohol and sulfur. There must be some around here. Tell me when you found them.
Alright. Alcohol and sulfur. Alcohol, sulfur, that's everything.
So, again, alchemy people studied alchemy at this time not only found like certain chemicals and elements that, you know, we use today, they also pretty much like were made contributions as far as like lab equipment and lab practices and equipment that we use today. So, for example, this big fucking thing right here,
it must be what they call an athen.
You know, I guess distilling would be the word. Distiller. So if anyone has done organic chemistry, taken any organic chemistry class, there are a few distillation labs that you do. It's pretty cool. I mean, I got pretty jazzed when I first distilled something in my OChem class. I mean, if you make it to OChem class, that class is already fucking hard to begin with, but yeah. I digress. Alright, so the new game mechanic, we can make ignifier if we have the appropriate ingredients to do so. And with this, we can go ahead and light embers on fucking fire. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but alchemy did not start in Europe. So when I'm talking about the Middle Ages, like especially obviously in this game because we're in France, it's in Europe. However, alchemy did not start in Europe. It actually started in the East, in Asia. And so it's interesting that our first like alchemist thing that we are able to do is, you know, fire, basically ignite fire. And that was actually developed by the Chinese, so way before we get to, you know, the 1300s. If again, the Chinese alchemists, you know, they were the ones that had this invention, so incendiary, so, you know, lighting shit on fire. They also had like gunpowder that they made, right? So we got to give credit to, you know, Chinese, you know, Eastern alchemists contributing.
Leave me alone.
Hugo, listen. About earlier, I just wanted to tell you that I'm...
No, Amicia, come on!
The house is going down.
No, no! Stop!
Lucas, wait!
There's something down! Look out!
Do something! We have to leave. Now! to... Lucas! Where's this taking us? To the river!
When you're playing through this part, make sure Lucas is following you. Again, 7th time playing this episode. The few times I ran through this, like, Lucas wasn't fucking following me, and if he is not following you, he can get eaten by rats and die, and then you start over from your checkpoint. So make sure he is fucking following you, make sure he's behind you, so you don't run into that problem. So not only can we use the ignifier for embers, we can also use it with our sling and light other things that are capable of being on fire. And this is another new game mechanic. And again, I'm sitting here like, fucking Lucas! What the hell, man? Why aren't you following us? I'm surprised he didn't get eaten. But yeah, okay, come on, man. Let's fucking go. Let's do this. Let's get to fucking safety, bro. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode with me. I really do appreciate it. I know it was long, and I'm assuming the next episodes are going to be longer because as we progress through the game, we're going to have to go through more things. So overall, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like it if you liked the video. Also, if you enjoy my content, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, whether you care or not, have a wonderful fucking day. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.